Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle a pretty sharp subject. How to build a trusting, bite-free relationship with your parrot and move from frustration to a real conversation.
So let's just dive right in with the one question that every single parrot person has asked themselves, probably while holding a Band-Aid. You're sitting there thinking, is this just part of the deal? Is this the price of admission?
Here's a brilliant way to think about it. A bite isn't some random, inevitable act of aggression. No way. It's a reaction. It's a breakdown in communication. And you know what that means? It means we actually have the power to change the conversation.
All right, so let's get into it. Here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by totally reframing the question, then learn how to listen, build trust, put it all into practice, and finally help you sidestep those common little traps.
Okay, so first things first. We can't solve a problem until we really understand it, right? So we have to tackle this core issue and completely shift our mindset about what a bite even is from a parrot's point of view.
I mean, come on, who hasn't typed this exact question into a search bar at 2 in the morning? It comes from a place of being confused, maybe even a little scared, just totally stuck. But here's the catch. The question itself is pointing us in the wrong direction.
So if that's the wrong question, how do we start to understand? Well, the real secret isn't about stopping the bite. It's about realizing the bite is the very last thing your parrot wanted to do. It's the desperate shout that only happens after a whole bunch of whispers have been ignored.
And this is so important. Your parrot isn't being malicious. They're not trying to be the boss of you. They are just trying to communicate something, a boundary, a fear, whatever it is. When we miss all the quieter signals, they have no choice but to escalate until we finally get the message.
So think of this as your bird's vocabulary list. This is Body Language 101. These are all the polite requests, the hey, please stop that signals they send out long before a bite even crosses their mind. Every single one is a chance for us to listen up and respond.
And this really shows you the shift we have to make. We're not just owners, we're observers. We're translators. By paying attention to these little cues, we're actually empowering our birds. We're teaching them that their quiet voice works just fine so they never have to shout.
Okay, so we're learning to listen, but how do we talk back? How do we set up a dynamic where our birds actually want to cooperate with us? Well, the answer is incredibly powerful, and honestly, it's surprisingly simple.
This, right here, is our single most important tool. And let's be clear, positive reinforcement isn't bribery, not at all. It's just clear communication. It's you telling your bird in a language they totally understand. Yes, that's it. That's exactly what I wanted, and here's a really good reason to do it again. And the difference couldn't be more night and day. Positive reinforcement, that invites partnership. It builds excitement. Punishment, on the other hand, just creates fear. The bird doesn't learn what you want them to do, they just learn to be afraid of you. And that shatters trust, and ironically usually leads to more biting, not less.
All right, theory is great, but let's get practical. How does this actually look in the real world? Let's break down how you can apply all this to one of the most fundamental behaviors we ask for, the good old step up.
These 4 steps create this perfect little communication loop. The cue is you asking the question. The behavior is their answer. The bridge, that little good, tells them, yes, that exact moment was correct. And the reward? Well, that's the paycheck that makes them want to do it all over again. It's predictable, it's positive, and man, it really works.
And right here you can see how this training completely changes the meaning of an interaction. On the left, that hand means the party's over, so the bird bites to protect its good time. But on the right, after some positive training, that exact same hand now means, hey, something good is about to happen. The bird actually welcomes it.
Now, even with the best intentions, it is super easy to fall into a few common traps. So to help you succeed, let's quickly cover the 3 big mistakes that pretty much every beginner makes.
Just remember this mantra, quality over quantity, always. A focused, successful 3-minute session is a million times better than a 20-minute slog where you both just get bored and frustrated. Keep it short, sweet, and always end on a high note.
I know it's so tempting to rush ahead when you see progress, but that can really shatter their confidence. Use the 80% rule as your guide. If your bird isn't nailing it at least 8 out of 10 times, they're just not ready for the next step. You got to build a solid foundation first.
And this one is huge. Your bird is basically an emotional sponge. They pick up on your energy instantly. Your frustration becomes their stress, and a stressed out brain can't learn a thing. The number one rule of training is to protect the relationship. If you're not having fun, they aren't either. Just stop. Try again later.
So after all this, what's the one big thing to take away? What's the bottom line? It really comes down to a fundamental shift in perspective. That's the secret. You are not trying to suppress some bad behavior. You are giving your incredibly smart companion a better, more effective, and a lot less painful way to be understood. You're giving them a voice, and then you're learning how to really listen to it.
When you consistently reinforce the behaviors you do want and you respect the communication they offer you, you stop being a commander and you start being a conversation partner. You are literally building a new shared language, one little interaction at a time.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? This whole approach changes the goal. It's no longer about simple obedience or teaching tricks. It's about building a genuine, cooperative bond with another intelligent being. Thank you for joining us on The Explainer.